This is the teams that we think can actually win the Super Bowl. Whether you think they are Final Four teams, whether they make the Super Bowl, teams that we actually think right now after week 10 actually have a shot to win it. And, starting to see flies drop off, teams drop away as the season goes along. Naturally, it's how it goes. But Matt, I'm going to start with you. Who are the teams right now after week 10 that you think are actual Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah, in terms of teams that can actually win the Super Bowl here, I tried to go small and select, so I kept it to just 5 teams.
Okay.
For me, it's the Chiefs, the Lions, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Packers. The hardest cut for me is probably one of the NFC East teams. Philly, I thought about, but they could also lose to damn Washington on Thursday, and then they might not even win their division. So I feel pretty good about these 5 teams.
So you had who did you have? The Chiefs, the Lions,
the Ravens, the Bills, and the Packers.
Okay. All right, we're close. Charles, what were yours?
I had the same 4 with the Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Lions, but I put the Eagles in for the Packers. I've been really impressed with the way that defense has come along recently. I think they certainly have a better defense than the Packers right now. I mean, it just felt like I had to throw another NFC team on there. I can't just say the Lions they're going to win the NFC and make the Super Bowl, even though I do think that's going to happen. It felt weird just having a list of like 4 AFC teams or 3 AFC teams and 1 NFC team. So I threw the Eagles up there. I don't know if they actually have like the overall cohesion, like we've been saying ad nauseum for like a damn year now about this offense, but too many good players. The defense is coming along. Vic Fangio's done a good job over there. Secondary's playing better. Jalen Carter's playing better. So if there's any other team in the NFC that has like the overall talent top to bottom, it's probably Philly to me as far as just competing with the Lions.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give mine right now because I have, all right, Chiefs, Lions, Bills, Packers, Ravens. Those were, I feel good. Like those are the ones I'm like, I feel good. And then I had so I don't know if I'm like saying these are in there or I just want to talk about them. Let's just talk about them. I had Vikings, 49ers, and Eagles as kind of my next 3. So I kind of did a top 8 without meaning to do it. But yeah, I cheated the exercise like always. Those were like you guys are saying, I think we're Chiefs and Lions locked like that like I think everybody, you don't have to twist anybody's arms about that. Bills, I feel probably 3rd best about. I would put them if we did this power ranking right now, just offense, being able to run the ball, get explosive passes. They have a really good defensive game plan stuff, and they have good special teams. So that's like another team that I think is pretty easy up there. The Ravens worry me a little. I almost dropped them, but then I was like, I don't know, this offense is a juggernaut, and it's like they can stop the run at least. Just pass defense is a little shaky, but hopefully cold weather can help that out once the playoffs start, and maybe some windy days can make that maybe a little bit more limited. I think for me, the Eagles argument is actually easier to make right now than the 49ers and Vikings, which if you asked me that maybe 3 weeks ago, I'd been like, no way, but I'm with you guys. I think I'm going to include them in this. So I think that's my 6th team. And with the Eagles, just that they're figuring out the run game. They're figuring out their offense. They're stripping some fat from it. It's nothing sexy. Everyone's acting like it's a new offense. They just went under center a little bit more and ran the ball. But then I think I'm really just trusting this defense so much. And that's really what made me feel a lot better about the Eagles, that I think this is a top 8-ish defense, maybe even better. And they have an offense that can get an explosive whenever they want. They can run the ball whenever they want. Even if, I always have hesitations about Jalen Hurts' quarterback play. I've seen it work in the playoffs. So he at least has that element that I'm going to drop in there. So I'm including them on this one with the Vikings and 49ers, kind of that next group. 49ers, neither of you guys mentioned them. What's kind of holding you back? Matt, I'll start with you. Was it Charles or Christian McCaffrey's kind of, 4-9-40, kind of maybe doing this a little bit.
and the fact that they just went all the way back in with him too. Just all right, well, Mason's gonna get a carry, Garendo's gonna get a carry, and it didn't look great for McCaffrey. I don't know that if that's the plan, they're gonna run the ball consistently. Obviously, him as a passing game mismatch really helps, but I love the way Juwan Jennings was used. Him as the X receiver answer for them was a creative one that I kind of had questions about coming out of the bye, because nobody on this roster besides Brandon Ayuk has consistently played X for that team. So that was nice to see. I think Pearsall's looked really good, but at the same time, do it against a team that's not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that I think is one of, if not the very worst pass defense in the NFL. So I still have some questions about the actual artillery in the passing game. And then, yeah, I mean, if they're just going to go all the way back in on McCaffrey, I actually think that might not be the best thing for their run game. Their red zone issues are still kind of questionable. The defense, I don't think I'm not going to say it's not a needle moving unit, but it's certainly not a top 5 or top 10 unit across the league right now. So I was close to considering them, but I need to see a few more weeks still.
I think the concerning part about Christian McCaffrey's return, specifically against this defense, was, okay, you got Vita Vea plug in the middle, and just like by success rate, the Bucs defense is still pretty good against the run, just in terms of success rate. EPA, not so good. So like they're kind of good down and down, but they're giving up explosive runs.
Bust. Yeah,
they didn't get any, and that, to me, that's the worry. That's worrisome because I feel like you could put any of us back there and we could rip off, a 15-yard run at some point in Kyle Shanahan's scheme. In the fact
maybe on 3rd and 30.
Maybe on 3rd and 30. Absolutely. But I thought that was concerning, and he just, you alluded to 4.9 40. He just didn't look explosive at all. Even on the there was a broken play kind of where Purdy hit him on a wheel route near the sideline kind of, and he catches the ball, and you're kind of waiting for all right, where's that second gear? And it never actually comes. So we'll see what's like next for them in their offense. But I thought the fact that they couldn't get any explosives versus Tampa Bay on the ground at least was pretty concerning. And like Matt said, do it again against a real defense. That defense is not good right now.
Yeah, that's really it. It's the explosive run element that this offense has been missing, and that is just such a big part of a Shanahan offense. I mean, we've been, even with 2 out, with the Dolphins, they didn't work in explosive runs, and that's why that offense felt even worse than it should have been. But yeah, with the 49ers and everything, that's Jordan Mason can get you the easy yards and the safe yards, the 5 yards, 6 yard gains, but it's those need to be 15 to make this offense feel like our preseason number 1 offense. I think all of us had it. And still, statistically, they're up there and everything, all efficiency stuff and everything. It's just lacking that. I keep using the word venom. And I think with a running back approaching 30 with Achilles stuff, that's just scary. It's not like where I'm like, oh, okay, he's just going to knock some rust off. It's I don't know, Achilles stuff it's a little interesting on there. The explosive run thing, their defense is playing a little bit better than maybe I gave them credit for, especially after the Hargrave injury. Still not an overwhelmingly good defense because they have holes in it. And so that's kind of, it's just a lot of I don't think it's a bad team. I think it's a good team. If we did a true top 10 power rankings, they'd probably sneak in for me maybe at the tail end of it. But it just doesn't feel like maybe these teams from the last 2 years that we've seen with the 49ers. Injuries, of course, are a huge part of that. But yeah, it just doesn't feel the same with that. Also, I don't know if I might have just been a slip on that. I did want to include the Packers as one of my teams, maybe before the Vikings. I don't know if I said that or not, but I do want to include them on my list as one of the teams as contender. I still believe in the Packers. My preseason Super Bowl pick. Still believe in them. Defense isn't great, figuring it out, but I trust this offense, and I do trust a healthy Jordan Love. So I do want to include them in there if I did not.